Hey folks, this is Kalani. It's been a very busy week for World of Warcraft. The Midnight Alpha is starting up very soon with a new information dump from a deep dive video and a live Q&A with the dev team. Patch 11.25 goes live in just a couple of weeks. Some upcoming game content will only be available in certain regions. Brewfest returns with some brand new rewards to pick up, and there's a new Twitch drop that will be available very soon. There's a lot to talk about, so let's break it all down in this week's WoW News video. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Now first up this week, the big news is that the Midnight Alpha will be starting up on October 2nd, so that's next week. We'll finally get to see how this new expansion is shaping up so far, and we'll get some hands-on experience with the new systems, features, zones, all that good stuff. We even have a bit of a roadmap for how the alpha is going to progress. So in Phase 1, we'll have access to the Eversong Wood zone, the Level Up and Arator campaigns, local stories, which are mainly just side quests, as well as something called the Argentina, so that's interesting. Housing will be in that first phase as well. The Windrunner Spire and Murder Road dungeons will be available for testing. 3 delves and the new delve companion will be available as well. We'll get to see how the Devourer Demon Hunter plays, and there will also be major class updates to go over. This first phase will also have some profession updates, so I'll be very interested to see how things will change as we head into Midnight. In Phase 2, we'll move on to the Zulaman zone with story and quests, as well as 2 different dungeons and delves. For Phase 3, it will be the Harandar and Eversong Wood zones with story and quests, the Blinding Veil dungeon, 2 new delves, and we'll get our first glimpse of the Encounter Warnings UI update. In Phase 4, we'll be able to level up to 90, check out the Void Storm zone, 3 new dungeons, 2 extra delves, the new Slayer's Rise PvP stuff, and that's where we're going to see the Apex talents as well. So that's going to be a huge feature to keep an eye on, but we will have to wait a little bit to see just how impactful those new talents are going to be. And then in Phase 5 we'll have the level 90 story campaign, Argentina visitor quests and weekly quests to explore, as well as the last 2 delves, the Prey system, and a lot of level 90 activities. So that's going to be a very interesting phase for sure. Now, we're not too sure how the pacing of these phases is going to work, but in previous alphas the dev team have pushed new content every single week. Phase 5 also mentions that it will include week 1 to 4 content, which could mean Phase 1 to 4 if we'll see a new phase every week. The beta usually starts up after everything has been tested in the alpha build as well, so after Phase 5 we could see the transition to beta, which far more players will have access to. Beta access is also included in the Midnight pre-order, so a lot of folks will be able to test the expansion at that point, which will be key for a smooth launch. And then on October 1st, so a day before the alpha starts, the dev team will also be releasing a deep dive broadcast that provides a closer look at the zones, story and features of the expansion, so we should get a lot more information there as well. In a little trailer for the deep dive, we saw quite a few customization options for the exterior of your house and a couple of shots of monsters doing void things, so there's probably going to be a lot of new updated info when compared to the Gamescom reveal. And then there will also be a live Q&A with the lead developers of World of Warcraft right after that broadcast. The Q&A will be streamed on both Twitch and YouTube, and if you want to submit a question, it looks like you'll be able to do that on the official forums or over on the WoW subreddit. I'll give you a link to the alpha announcement post so you can check things out for yourself and follow those links to wherever you'd prefer to ask your question if you want to. So we'll have a much better idea of what the Midnight expansion is going to look and play like with all of this information swirling around next week. So it's going to be a very busy week for Midnight information, but then the week after, on October 7th, patch 11.2.5 goes live, which introduces the Legion Remix event and the Turbo Boost event for Season 3 of The War Within. The Legion Remix event is deceptively large and will soak up a lot of playtime if you want to collect everything that's on offer. We also just got confirmation that almost every artifact weapon appearance will be available from Legion Remix. This includes the original artifact tints, the upgraded artifact tints, all of the Valorous tints, the hidden artifact for each weapon, as well as the hidden tints that come from PvE activities. So really the only ones we won't be able to get again are the Mage Tower ones, which is still going to be disappointing for anyone who didn't play through Legion, because the Mage Tower versions are some of the coolest ones in my opinion, but at least you'll be able to to pick up everything else, and it should be a bit easier in Legion Remix with all of the stats and power boosts that your characters will have, and all of the time gating that's been removed from things like the campaign missions. The Turbo Boost event will help you gear up all of your characters to even higher item levels, and you can pick up rare and powerful rewards straight from a vendor as well. It is important to note that the Turbo Boost event is being split into 2 different parts or phases this time, and we just got confirmation of when that second part will go live. So when the patch hits live servers on October 7th, we only get the increased item levels for the Hero Track gear, Myth Track gear, and Spark Crafted gear. Pretty much everything else will arrive a bit later on October 21st. So things like the Valorstone currency becoming Warbound transferable, your crests being uncapped, and the higher drop rates for the Warbound gear will all come later. That will also include the Puzzle and Cartel Chips currency and the vendors who sell you Hero and Myth Track dungeon and raid loot. The quest to obtain your chips seems largely the same as Season 2. We'll get a one-time quest that rewards 3 chips right away, so be able to purchase an item in the first week that this is available, and then we'll get 1 chip per week after that. What does seem to be different is that the blue post specifically mentions that you can complete the quest by killing 4 raid bosses on normal or higher difficulty, or completing 4 Mythic Zero dungeons or higher, so LFR boss kills might not be enough to earn your chips this time around, which definitely seems very odd. I do seem to recall that the Season 2 Turbo Boost event started off with normal or higher raid requirements too, and then they were changed in the first week to also include LFR, so maybe that's the case here, but it is weird that they would make that same mistake again. Something else that we learned is that the higher item level delve trinkets will be restricted somewhat too. You'll need a new item called Untainted Mana Crystal, which can be obtained from opening bountiful coffers inside of bountiful delves at tier 9 or above. So if you want to buy the new Hero Track trinkets from the delve vendor, they're not going to cost undercoins like the lower item level trinkets do. You'll need to run some bountiful tier 9 delves with a restored coffer key in hand for each trinket that you want to buy. And then we'll also see faster Delver's journey progress, better rewards from the Delver's bounty, increased crest rewards from Delves themselves, and we can loot extra charges for the catalyst as well. So quite a lot will be changing, it just won't be available on patch day. Most of this stuff will be delayed until October 21st. Now the Turbo Boost event for Season 3 is actually starting a bit sooner when compared to Season 2, so I'm not too surprised that they are delaying some parts of this event, but splitting things up does feel weird. You won't really get the main gearing boost from the Turbo Boost event until that second part rolls around. That does leave the patch feeling a bit light, especially if you aren't too interested in Legion Remix. I will say though, if you are interested in Legion Remix, you might actually struggle to get everything done if you want to play both Legion Remix and the Turbo Boost event at the same time. I guess we'll have to wait and see though. Either way, it's going to be a very busy month for anyone wanting to keep up to date with all things World of Warcraft. Now, over on the classic side of things, there's been a little bit of drama this week. It looks like there is a new classic mode being developed called Titan Reforged servers, which are slated to release in November of this year. These servers will have all raid content from Classic, TBC, and Wrath of the Lich King scaled up to level 80, so it's all going to be relevant at the same time, and the raids will release in a non-linear order, so you could be bouncing around expansions, progressing through raids in a very different way than usual. The problem is that these Titan Reforged servers are China exclusive, so no one else will get to play them, I guess. That seems a bit odd. I can't imagine spending time creating something for your game and then only allowing some players to actually experience it, especially when the players for that specific game mode have been begging for something new to do for a while now. Apparently, one of the reasons why these Titan Reforged realms are being region locked is because not everyone had access to Season of Discovery, which is also a bit odd and a bit of a shame because Season of Discovery ended up being quite fun. Having the classic experience with some quirky twists, popular class spells, level up raids, and new content to work through was more enjoyable than just working through another version of Classic Realms in my opinion, which makes me hope that Classic Plus will actually be a thing sometime in the near future. But having any kind of content be region locked at all seems very inefficient. Why design and construct something that only one portion of the player base is going to get to play? Now, a lot of Classic players were understandably quite upset at the prospect of some new Classic WoW updates being developed that they wouldn't get to play. Classic hasn't seen many significant updates or changes in a while now, but the dev team did very quickly reiterate in a blue post that plans for Classic WoW in the West have not changed. They are still working on the next chapter for the Classic experience, and they'll share more information when the time is right. So we know they're working on something, we just don't know exactly what that something is going to be. It could be Classic Plus, where everything starts over again, but we get new content and features that align with the Classic experience. We could see Mr. Pandaria progress into Warlords of Draenor Classic, which could be interesting, I guess, or it could be something completely out of left field. But what do you hope or think is next for World of Warcraft Classic? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Now, in other news, Brewfest started up this week and we have some brand new rewards to chase down this year. If you're lucky, you can pick up the Brewfest Barrel Bomber mount, which looks very cool and definitely fits the Brewfest theme quite well. Note that this mount can only drop from your first kill of Corran Diabrew per day across your entire account, so killing him on your ults in the same day won't give you any extra chances at the mount, but that means it is worth killing him at least once every single day if you want to add this mount to your collection. There are also some new gear sets to check out. The Brewer's Transmog includes some interesting pieces, including a kilt, which players have been having a lot of fun with over the last few days, and you can also pick up the Dwarven Crystal Plate looking set in the dark iron colours and theme, which looks really cool as well. There's some other stuff sprinkled in here and there, and of course there are plenty of rewards from previous years if you haven't picked those up, so make sure you pop by your faction's Brewfest hub to check it all out. Now, there have already been several improvements and hotfixes for Brewfest as well, including Alliance players actually being able to loot Diabrew's Diabrew reliably, and the Brewfest prize tokens are now warbound, so that's a great change too. You'll be able to put all of those hard-earned tokens in your warbound bank to add them all up across your characters to buy whatever goodies you're interested in. This makes killing Corran Diabrew for the quest hand-in a very efficient way to quickly farm up some tokens, especially if you have lots of ults from all of the leveling events we've had so far. Now, if only they were also in the currency tab. You know, the tab made specifically for currencies? That would be even better. And then to round out this week's video, we're also going to have a new Twitch drop very soon. If you watch 4 hours of WoW streams on Twitch between October 1st and October 29th, you'll be able to pick up the Lil Coley pet. It's a baby pit lord, which is much cuter than it has any right to be. No doubt it will probably try to get you to drink some demon blood at one point or other, but if you want to add this pet to your collection, be sure to tune into your favourite WoW streams sometime in October. But that's all of the updates we have to go over, so that's it for this week's WoW news video. How do you feel about some new game content being region locked? And what are you most looking forward to learning more about from the Midnight Deep Dive next week? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.